Yo, good to have you here. Wonderful. And you know, that type of song reminds me of something that I think is a real strength of bluegrass, probably more so for the musicians than for the listener, is that it's so darn therapeutic, isn't it? Just listening to I Wonder Where You Are Tonight, you can get away, rid yourself of some heartache if that's where you find yourself in life. Isn't that true, Mike?
I think so. I think that it often sings of sad things, but there's still a glimmer of hope about it. And the melodies are just really eternal, you know, like Bob said, the bluegrass comes from fiddle tunes that go way back, and not only from the Irish and Scottish traditions, but you know, comes from blues traditions as well. And so I think that it's really kind of an eternal, universal kind of music, I think.
I want to have you do one more to send us out in a couple of minutes, but we can chat a little bit before we do that. I just mentioned that so you can be thinking about how do you decide what you're going to play. Like right now, you guys going to have a scissors, rock, paper contest about what's the last song you play on the show? No.
Well, we had one kind of emergency tune lined up.
Okay, you did. That's a good thing to have. For live radio, you often need to break the glass and reach in there and get that emergency tune,
right,
and use it. Well, I wanted to ask you about, you know, genres of music ebb and flow, and bluegrass has been around since the 30s or 40s or something like that. Where do you think we are in kind of the popularity of bluegrass? I know a few years ago when Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, the soundtrack, that movie came out, huge popularity. Did you notice in your playing that people were really, again, renewed in their enthusiasm towards bluegrass? Where are we at right now?
The
Al
thing
Murphy.
that I noticed was that when you said you played bluegrass, you didn't get a blank look.
You didn't get a blank look.
Yeah.
That's
People
a good
at
thing.
least knew what you were talking about when you said bluegrass. So that that was the big thing I noticed.
Did Aleta, you wanted to mention something?
Well, I think bluegrass is very popular right now. Look at the crowd right here,
Yeah.
Ben. A lot of people came out. Every single band on this stage is working a lot. If you go to Mike and Amy Finder's website, you'll see that they're just booked out a lot, and Bob and the Banjo band are playing a lot, and all of us are. So that's a good sign, I think.
Yeah. Good sign for bluegrass and good sign for local musicians here in Iowa, that's for sure. We want to mention, too, if our listeners, anybody here has any queries about how they can get in touch with any of these members, I guess, Mike, probably a good idea would be go to your website or mikeandamyfinders.com. And how do you explain how to spell your last name? Because it's not...
It's F as in fish, I-N-D-E-R-S, Finders, like finders, but you say Finders.
mikeandamyfinders.com, and you'll be back, the Mike and Amy Finders Band, on August 26th.
Yes, we
in your
will.
reincarnation as a band.
Yeah, we have a couple new members and a few new songs, and yeah, we're looking forward to that. Amy's shaking her head like, what
No,
new
I'm not
songs?
looking forward to it. We wanted to mention again that Bob Black has just written, released, or published a new memoir about his time with Bill Monroe as one of the legendary Bluegrass Boys, and that is being put out by University of Illinois Press. Come Hither To Go Yonder, Playing Bluegrass with Bill Monroe. I want to ask you a last question, Bob. You mentioned took you about 30 years to write this book. I imagine you took some breaks.
Yeah, right. It took me 30 years to decide to write the book, for sure. I mean, I had thought about it for that long, though.
You used the word cathartic in your book. I think it was in the epilogue to talk about this. It was to get this book out there and to get the experiences written down. Tell us what you mean by that.
Well, for many years I harbored some ill feelings towards some of the people that I mentioned in the book. And when I wrote the book, I sort of expressed those feelings, and I changed that later after I got to thinking about what was really happening back then. And so it caused me to take a more elevated view of what was going on, and I came to realize during the process of writing this book that most of the things that I stayed upset and mad about over the years were really my own problems that I was having back in those days. And so that's where the catharsis comes in. I realize now that, these feelings that I had were not really, there was nothing to them. There was no reason for me to feel this way. And so, that's about, without actually getting into specific details, that's what I meant by cathartic.
Have you had any reaction from the band members still living that you played with about your writings here? Any reaction from people from that era in your life?
We went to Bean Blossom, Indiana, which is the site of a festival that Bill Monroe started back in the mid-'60s. Bill Monroe's, of course, passed away now, but that festival's still going. And we were there, it was last month, and a lot of musicians were there, and they purchased copies of the book. Some of the members of Ralph Stanley's band were reading the book. Raymond Huffmaster bought a copy. He played with the Osborne Brothers for years, and a lot of people bought the book, and they liked it, and they read it. They were reading it right at the festival, and so a lot of the musicians do like it. I get a lot of good response.
I can attest to the fact that it's a good read, a good summer read, a good winter read, good fall read, spring read, anything like that. If you're interested in bluegrass and the experiences on the inside of the Bluegrass Boys, written by Bob Black. Have you take us out with a little music? I just want to thank you all for coming today. Let's thank the Burlington Street Bluegrass Band. Want to have someone mention that you're going to be appearing here. There's a Kelowna Festival coming up. Tell us quickly.
Yes, the Kelowna Bluegrass Festival, July 8th, 9th, and 10th, which begins today, tomorrow, and the next day. And I will be down there with my wife, Christy, and our band. And Alan and Aleta Murphy will be down there tomorrow on Saturday. And that's down by Kelowna at a place called Windmill Ridge Campground, down by Kelowna.
Okay, any other events to mention, Mike Finders?
Every second and fourth Wednesday at the Mill, see the Burlington Street Bluegrass Band live and in the flesh. Bluegrass.
There we go. Mike Finders, Bob Black, Al Murphy, Aleta Murphy, Joe Peterson, and Dale Thomas, thank you so much. Jim Davies is our chief engineer. John Bowitt, our assistant engineer. Paul Flav is our technical assistant and certified radio Sherpa. Next Friday here at the Java House, I'll discuss memoir writing with best-selling author Hope Edelman. Edelman is the author of Motherless Daughters and the forthcoming Motherless Mothers. Also, fresh off her European tour, award-winning Texan singer-songwriter Sarah Sharp will perform live. That's author Hope Edelman and singer-songwriter Sarah Sharp next Friday, July 15th, 10 a.m. at Iowa City's downtown Java House. All of our shows are open to the public. Drop in or tune in. For more information on upcoming shows, go to our website, wsui.uiowa.edu, and click on upcoming events. What's the emergency? Break the glass, get out the song title?
It's called Are You Ashamed to Call Me Darling?
Okay. Join us again next Friday for more fresh brewed conversation topped off with live music. For Iowa Public Radio, I'm Ben Kiefer. Thanks to the Burlington Street Bluegrass Band. Have a great weekend.
Shatter, you turn your head when I walk by. Are you ashamed to call me darling? After all I've been to you, you broke my heart, left me lonely. Are you ashamed to call me
Sarah Sharp's award-winning musical poetry is featured this Friday morning on our live broadcast from the Java House.
Retro resale cowboy, snap it up, oh, cool button shirt.
Also, ever thought your family's stories would make a good book? Best-selling author Hope Edelman will tell us how.